Welcome to the Midweek Mailbag, your Detroit Lions midweek podcast where we answer your Detroit Lions questions live right here on youtube.com/Pride of Detroit, twitch.tv/Pride of Detroit, or wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, the others. My name is Jeremy Reisman. I'm the producer over at Pride of Detroit. You can find me at Detroit Online on socials, and with me, as always, is the managing editor of Pride of Detroit. He's also known as The Machine, and you can find him at Erik on Twitter, and you better spell that Erik with a K. It's Erik Schlitt. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, bud. It's a pretty happy Tuesday here in Detroit.
Yeah.
Lions are back at the top of the NFC North where they belong, and we got a big game looking on the horizon here that we're looking forward to. So
Yes,
lots of fun.
Some may say we'll be waiting all night for Lions Eagles.
Yeah, like my youngest who likes to sing that song all night.
We are going to get into that game a little bit at the end of this podcast because we got a couple questions from Lions fans eager to get into that matchup, and I understand because it is going to be a good, fun game. We are going to start with more play calling stuff because that is where the majority of our questions came from. If you ever want to submit a question, the best way to do that is through Twitter. Look for our call outs sometime on Tuesday from the Pride of Detroit account. If you're a Pride of Detroit direct subscriber, you can also submit questions through our very super secret email as well. But let's jump into it. And we're going to start with a Pride of Detroit direct subscriber, John D, who asks a long question here, so bear with me, but I think it's a good one. Says, the discussion around play calling has me curious about the process for planning and calling the offense. I would have assumed that most of the strategies worked out ahead of time in committee, things like what plays to call in what situations, personnel packages to favor, distribution of work between skill players, run-pass balance, all that sort of stuff. And that in-game play calling is primarily just an implementation of that plan. Obviously, there are important decisions and in-game adjustments to make, but I would have thought most of these would have been discussed between the head coach and offensive coordinator over the radio. It seems like the role of the in-game play caller is more critical than I am assuming. Can you explain the relative roles and responsibilities that go into calling an offense and the significance of planning, scheming versus real-time play calling? To the extent that there is/was a disconnect between Dan and Morton, do you think it was more about differences in strategy or execution?
All right. Well, let's start at the pre-planning phase. The Lions have what they call advanced scouts, and they take those advanced scouts and they send them out to their upcoming opponents a couple of games ahead of time. So they usually get like one set of eyes on the Eagles a couple weeks ago, and then they had another scout probably at the Eagles game last night. Mm-hmm. Both of those scouts write up reports. There are certain things that they're supposed to be looking for that the offensive and defensive coordinator are looking for, and the advanced scouts help in that pre-planning process. So there's information there. Then you also have the pro scouts who are not physically at the game but are information gathering, and they're also collecting data so that when the offensive coordinator comes in and they rewatch the game that just happened, they have a plethora of information at the ready for them to sort through. Then they will watch some film on their upcoming opponent. Sometimes it'll be things that are just like certain cut-ups or a certain set of plays, depending on what they're looking to achieve. And then while the coordinators are looking at film, you have like run game coordinators and pass game coordinators that are also looking at their aspects of film. And then the positional coaches are also watching, how can their players take advantage. So all these coaches are all spread out doing this. They all have information at their ready. And they're also, they're all in that pre-planning process. Once they collect all of their information, then they bring it to a collective meeting, and then they start to talk about where their advantages, where they're not their advantages, and that's when they start to put the game plan together. And if they blur the play sheets out and stuff like that, or they hold them where you try not to see them, but when you look at the play sheets, they kind of get blocked off, right? And those blocked off sections are like, these are the plays that we think will work in these scenarios. So John's right? Yeah. So you basically have like a big set of plays that are base plays, things that you've installed early in training camp that are available at your disposal. Then you're going to have plays that are specific for this week and then specific in each situation so that when it comes time to call a play, you know which section to look at, where to look at, and that's why you see coaches like on the sidelines constantly like marking things up like don't do this didn't work. And then on those play sheets, it's this play builds into this play. So if you're going to call this one early, you can call this one late if it works, and then they make notations and stuff like that. So that's all part of the pre-planning process. So do you want to add anything to the pre-planning
Keep
process
going.
before we
Just keep going.
Okay.
We haven't really gotten to the question yet, so let's keep it rolling.
Well, so then once we get into the end game, you have a pre-planned set of plays, typically between like 15 and 20 plays that are kind of determined for what you're going to do against that opponent. And then what you do is you're executing those plays. So you'll see a lot of people that are saying, you know, they'll put stats out like, oh, how does this coach do in the pre-planned versus the scripted plays versus the non-scripted plays. And so there was a very good graph out there today about Dan Campbell, scripted plays, non-scripted plays, right? Small sample size, but still fun. But when they get to those scripted plays, you're basically trying to figure out what's working, what's not. And then this is what we thought was going to work. This is what we didn't think. And then that's when the adjustments start to come. Once you start seeing what's working, you start building on those plays. How are they adjusting? Are they blitzing more? Is there certain situations where they were blitzing that they're not? And when those adjustments are happening, you ever see the cut-ups in the booth where they cut up to John Morton and he's sitting there, but there's like 3 other guys with him? Yeah. That's because each of those guys are compiling information and then passing it on to either John Morton or a play caller or whatever. And so then they're having to, as the game is going, go with what do they know versus what's actually happening, and then make those adjustments on the fly as the game is happening. And that's where the importance of having a good in-game play caller comes to fruition. It's not just executing what you think is going to happen. It's going to be, oh, look, we found something else that's happening. Let's go to the well. Oh, look, we figured out a JMO crosser is pretty good. Let's throw that 4 more times in the second half, right? Oh, look, a Texas route got us a touchdown. Maybe we should run that again, right? And so the in-game play caller is so valuable because they are taking information on the fly, adapting, adjusting, and then taking their next steps based on live information. The game planning is huge, but it's not as simple as let's just execute the game plan. There's a lot more that goes into it as the action starts.
Yeah, I think the main thing to also consider here, though, is how much it remains a team effort. And it's something that Dan continually has been saying ever since he took over play calling duties. And yes, part of that is his modesty. Part of that is his, he wants to hype up his guys. But everything you just said is like, this is still very much a team operation. This is in terms of feeding him information, in terms of feeding him trends, and in terms of feeding him what they're seeing from up top in the booth versus what he can see on the ground. And they're feeding him ideas too, right? And that's something that Dan continues to talk about. It's not like I just decide, hey, this is the play I want. Hey, this is the play I want. He'll sometimes be like, okay, if we lose yardage on this play, I need you guys to come up with some ideas for a 2nd and long. Hey, if we get stopped inbounds here, give me a play that works the sidelines so that we can get the clock stopped. And all of that remains important. And I'm not trying to take away from what Dan has done in one game, but I think I also do think there's like a little bit of like, wow, look at how different everything is. And I'm not entirely sure there was that much that was incredibly different in terms of the way that the game was managed. Now, there were plays that made a lot more sense. There were players that they utilized a little bit more that I think makes a lot of sense. But a lot of those things, like personnel choices and, formation choices, those are group decisions. Those are not just like Dan Campbell decisions. And so I do wonder how this thing is going to continue to look as we go on and face a team that doesn't have a terrible defense.
Well, look, I think the thing that stood out the most for me was that when we watched the Vikings game, what did they say was the biggest flaw? The biggest flaw was the inability
Depends who
to
you ask.
adjust. Well, okay, but it was the inability to adapt on the fly, right? The Vikings were doing something that they weren't expecting, and they were slow to adjust to that. It's essentially the same against Washington. We didn't see that exactly the same. So what we did see was this works. Let's adapt to it. This screen doesn't work. Let's move away from it. And I think with Dan, you saw that that adjustment, right? Whereas I think maybe, I don't want to say Morton was slow to adjust, but what we saw in Washington was
sure
they were slow to adjust, right?
Yeah.
And I think Dan's experience as a he's played in the league for 10 years plus. He's been coaching for now several years, 20 years or almost it feels like, but he's more familiar being in this spot, and he was adapting quicker.
I think that's fair. Couple more on play calling. Our good buddy Sports Turf Pro, also a Pride of Detroit direct subscriber, says, do you think Dan Campbell retains play calling for good, or might he try to work with Morton in order to have him on the same page as the season goes on? Now, I asked this question because Dan was essentially asked this on Monday. It's like, hey, is there any chance John Morton can come back and be a play caller? And he kind of went into this whole diatribe about how in 2021, Ben Johnson was there watching on the sidelines while Dan Campbell called plays. And he felt like that was a good perspective for him and helped him become a play caller, and then ended that story by saying, yeah, he could be the play caller in 2026. Yeah, he could be the play caller sooner than that. I ask you, is that just him posturing in the media to make John Morton feel warm inside, or do you think that has a legitimate chance of happening?
Gut feeling, I think it's saving face. It's saying this is an important person who helps me do my job better. But I fully expect Dan to call plays the rest of the way. What happens next season, I don't even think necessarily means that Morton's gone.
Right.
If he proves valuable and he proves that I keep pointing this out. There's more head coaches that call plays in the NFLs than not.
Right.
And they have coordinators that help them that don't call plays, right? And Detroit could just shift into that spot. And I think Dan will adjust. He'll figure out what he needs to do. I don't expect Dan to be like, if there's a problem, like take the tablet and then like ignore the defense while you're, working on the tablet right, to try and like figure out the play call, where he's ignoring that other side of the ball. We saw that last night in Green Bay, by the way. But I do think he's going to be the one that has his finger on the adjustments, on the calls. And I think it's his experience and familiarization with this team really it might make him the best one for the job, to be honest.
Yeah. And I don't think this has that much of a resemblance to the Anthony Lynn situation because one, I think
no, I agree.
This was like, I don't want to call the Anthony Lynn thing an arranged marriage, but in a lot of ways it was almost like a blind date. Like we don't really, obviously we had our interview, obviously I'm familiar with your work, but we haven't worked together. This is a new relationship where we haven't worked together. With John Morton, it was, I know what you bring to the table. You've worked under this offense. I know your work ethic. I've seen it. It's a lot. In a lot of ways, it's like how Brad Holmes talks about signing your own players versus signing a free agent. John Morton was signing your own. You know what he's going to be like in the building. Like how he's going to be like when adversity hit. Anthony Lynn was the free agent where you're like, I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know how he's going to fit. Didn't fit. I think John Morton still fits. I think John Morton still has a role to play in this offense. So I'm with you that I think he sticks around as long as he wants to stick around next year. There's a question of whether, has this been a humiliating experience for him, or does he not want to be the offensive coordinator because he probably doesn't want to talk to us anymore, or whatever. Like, there's a whole bunch of things to consider. The one thing that I think I'd mentioned before, and I'd seen some other Lions writers mention it too, is I don't know if it gets better for John Morton out there anywhere else. Like Anthony Lynn, he could go find a job and still be in high demand. And I'm not saying John Morton wouldn't have any demand, because I'm sure he could go right back to the Broncos, because I know Sean Payton respects him and all that sort of stuff.
The Bears tried to hire him too.
Sure.
Like,
right.
Because Ben Johnson knew,
Yep.
right? Like it's not like Morton's not going to have his suitors. But I agree with you. He's comfortable here. He doesn't have head coaching aspirations from everything we've heard, and so he may be completely comfortable just kind of settling in and feeding information to Dan.
Yeah.
By the way, I was thinking, what's like a blind date plus an arranged marriage, and it's got to be like Married at First Sight, right? Like that show,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, like a shotgun marriage.
What it was.
Or Love is Blind? Is that what we're going to? I've never seen Love is Blind, so I don't know what that show is.
I don't know. I don't know either, but
We'll have to ask
maybe.
Colton. I know Colton's a big fan.
Colton's a big fan.
Next question here from Nate Simmons asks, do you think Dan Campbell taking over play calling duties 8 games into the season hurts them for recruiting an offensive coordinator in the future, especially when they were, checks notes, second highest scoring offense? So the idea here being, Dan Campbell's going to have a quick trigger finger here if you're an offensive coordinator and it doesn't work, and that maybe turns people off from being the offensive coordinator here. Do you buy that at all?
I don't think it'll be a concern. This is a coach that has taken guys and put them into head coaching jobs and helped other coaches find higher paying jobs as well, like Tanner. And so I certainly think this is him taking over the play calling duties is not going to impact his ability to draw coaches moving forward.
Yeah, it could always impact someone. Every single person is different and they consider everything different. But I feel like this is a question that we were asked back in 2021 as well. It's like, Dan Campbell fired Anthony Lynn, like a well-respected coach. Not fired, but demoted. 8 months into the season. Yeah. I know it. No, I'm no, I'm not going to let you get into your professional beef. But I think not only does the reputation of this organization become a big draw, but I think also the weapons here become a big draw next year. Like, you have a young offensive line mostly, and some really good players there. You have a set of really good receivers. You have a good duo of running backs. You have a top 10 tight end. That I think is going to be a bigger draw than any sort of drawback of like, well, they demoted Anthony Lynn and John Morton in an instant. Maybe my opportunity here is only going to last a little bit. It's probably going to factor into some people's mind, but I imagine the positives are going to significantly outweigh the negatives for most people.
If you're taking a job and you're worried that you're not going to do the job good enough to that the head coach isn't going to take it away from you, you're probably not going to get a job under Dan Campbell.
Right. Yeah. You're going to have to come in with a lot of confidence. That's a really good point. Yeah. Because if there's any sort of insecurity about your own abilities, and listen, we all have a little bit, but if you come into that interview with any sort of like, I'm not sure, Dan's going to sniff that out in a second probably, and that might be the end anyways. All right, last one on play call. Nope, couple more on play calling, sorry. Ryan B., one of our Pride of Detroit Direct subscribers, says, after the Commanders game, Dan Campbell admitted that in the offseason, he strongly considered taking over play calling duties. However, it sounded like he wanted to be available in all 3 phases equally, which wouldn't have been the case if he was calling plays. While Dan has always been more of an offensive-minded coach, and taking over play calling duties is now certainly a reflection of where things stand with the offense, I would also argue this decision has as much to do with Dan's trust in Kelvin Shepherd and his oversight of the defense. How do you think this decision reflects on Kelvin Shepherd, and how might it change Dan's input oversight over the other 2 phases?
Yeah, I 100% agree with Ryan that that the ability for Kelvin Shepherd to coach at the level that he's coaching at consistently for 9 games now is so impressive. And it certainly, I believe, has instilled some trust that Dan can take his eyes off that side of the ball a little bit, right? Um, this defense is playing at a level that we've never seen. Obviously, the talent is higher than what we've seen in the past, but and they're healthy for the most part, and they're getting guys back. But what Shep has done is unbelievable, and I certainly think if that wasn't the case, you
Yeah, it would certainly make sense. Oh, I'm frozen on my own screen. That's fun. It would certainly make sense if at the beginning of the year they're like, okay, I have a first-time defensive coordinator. I have an offensive coordinator who's only been an offensive coordinator once. I need to oversee everything to start the season. I need to make sure that both sides are pulling their weight. I don't want to be a play caller right away because I need to make sure everything's taken care of elsewhere. But yeah, I think that is a way you could read the situation. I don't know if its defense looks pretty good. And I'm not calling, like, Kelvin Shepherd is not a perfect play caller, right? There's still things he's learning on the job. There's still things he needs to improve upon, right? And so I'm with, like, I guess I'm not like 100% in on Kelvin Shepherd as the defensive coordinator. Is my audio coming through okay?
Your audio is coming through fine. Yep,
okay, great.
I know your screen's glitching,
the video
but your
is
good.
flipping out, and it's distracting. But anyways, I think he has certainly gotten enough trust to believe that everything is going to be okay.
Yep, I'm with you.
Okay.
I think Ryan nailed it.
The stream is apparently lagging, but I think maybe we're okay. I don't know what the heck that was. All right. Let's fit in one more here before we go to break. And this is a question I think I've gotten every single minute since Brian Daboll was fired. Brennan is the one that we're going to use this time on Twitter. It asks, given Dan's relationship with Brian Daboll, do you think there's a chance Daboll would join the staff next year, or do you think he will have other opportunities? If he were to join the Lions, what role do you think he would be?
Oh, I am not a Daboll fan. So I would not be necessarily on board with that. I'm going to go back to the Hard Knocks that the Giants did, the off-season Hard Knocks, and I got a behind-the-scenes look at how he approaches his team and what he prioritizes, and I believe it was very in contrast with what Detroit has, and so I don't see the fit. They may have a relationship, but I believe Daboll is very much more closely aligned to the Patriot way than he is to this style. And so I wouldn't like it. I mean, look, if he comes on, I have no idea where he would fit, because it would, in my opinion, you could roll this offensive unit back, right? Like, and you have a lot of young aspiring coaches. Maybe he's an advisor. You could bring him in as an advisor. His quarterback record is decent. So, but like, you have your quarterback situation all stitched up. Like, I don't see the fit, and I would be against it.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, their entire overlap is just in 2011 when Daboll is the offensive coordinator for the Dolphins, right? And
I know they've known each other a while. I'm
trying to look back and see.
Philosophically, I don't think they fit at all. Just again, from an outsider's perspective,
right? And I get that, and I get also that Dan has spoken highly of him several times, and it makes me wonder, because from the outside I agree with you, but also when I look at from the outside, I don't think Sean Payton makes a lot of sense to ever work alongside Dan Campbell, because they seem
not anymore
at opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of how they manage a team. Yet Dan Campbell adores that guy. Dan Campbell considers him like his closest influence. And so
yeah,
I think there could be a fit. I don't like it, and I don't want any Patriots stank on this team, if I'm being quite honest. But I'm not counting out the fact that even though culture-wise there seems to be a clash, there might be enough respect between each other where that could work. I don't know what that means. I don't know if we're talking offensive coordinator and sliding, John Morton and David Shaw into co-passing game coordinator. Like I don't know what that means, or maybe Shaw parlays this into going back into college coaching. Like I don't know. But honestly, like that's if we're going way too far down the future, and I don't know why we need to do this now in the middle of like a really good season, but I could see David Shaw wanting to go back into college, and then I could see John Morton being like, all right, I'll just be pass game coordinator, because that's a job that essentially I feel like he's going to be doing the rest of the season anyways. Mm-hmm. And then you slide in an offensive coordinator.
I still think Morton's going to help marry things together a little bit more. But we've spent too much time on this topic as it is already, because I don't like it. I wouldn't like it. And look, he can be a senior offensive advisor. I wouldn't want any role other than that. I don't want him having hands on a whole lot of stuff. So I'm not a fan.
All right, we're going to move on from play calling as we take our first break here. When we come back, we're going to talk special teams. We're going to talk Amon-Ra punching people. We're going to talk about run defense.
Punching. Put some quotes on.
We're gonna split some hairs apparently in diction, and then we're gonna preview. Get a couple questions on the big Lions-Eagles Sunday night matchup coming up this week. All that and more when we come back here on the Midweek Mailbag. We'll be right back. Oh, you're Ryan Matthews. Oops.
No. Oh, when we switch?
Yeah.
No, I strongly do not like Dable. Holy cow. Dude.
I think that came through.
Watch. Go.
No, you hate Joe Shane way more than you hate Brian Dable.
Oh yeah, the whole GM stuff there is horrible. It's been 2 years since I've been like, this is going to blow up. It's going to be a disaster, and it's finally you're starting to see dominoes on it. But like, okay, if you watch that season of the Giants, like. He was so weird, and like the way he like tried to get information out of people, it was like he was trying to gotcha them, and it was just dumb. Like right, it was just it's so different than what this.
I feel like culture is a little less important as like a positional coach or
no. You go into those like combine meetings and you are direct and you are straightforward and you tell people what you want and you're gathering information. You're not trying to gotcha these 21-year-old kids or something like that. Like.
But like I feel like now.
The scary thing is that this was the good stuff that they were showing us, right? They're maybe. Like, here, look how good he. And I'm like, if this is the good stuff, the bad stuff that they're not showing us has to be just awful. Like,
but here's the thing, like now we're all now we're all like Ben Johnson's a bad culture guy. He screams at his players. He's weird.
He's always screamed.
He's making all these weird things and being disrespectful in the media. Blah 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 blah. And it's just like,
first of all,
he was here for 4 years.
He's always been weird, and he's always yelled. Like,
right,
it's
but I'm saying like
being surprised that AG's calling out a reporter.
My point is that fit here though. It worked here. You can work with that.
Yeah, but I don't think Ben was ever trying to like the passion and the buy-in with Ben was always there, and it just like it was there with AG. Like you believe in your players and you're supporting your players and you're uplifting your players. Mm-hmm. That's the philosophy in Detroit. It's not let's see if I can trick you into being wrong so that I can show you that I'm smarter than you because I'm insecure.
You're taking this from one quarterback combine interview.
No, it's not just the whole season. I'm using that as my example, but the entire season was him. Look, I didn't like it at all, and I'm gonna try and be nice, but it was a disaster.
I mean, listen, Brian Daboll has time. He might be watching her right now.
Sweet, don't come to Detroit, Brian.
All right, let me get to some alerts. We'll answer some of our live audience's questions. I see some people asking about Amon-Ra. That is going to be a topic on the second segment, so we'll probably hold off on Amon-Ra Punchgate. Spoiler: I don't think he's getting suspended. Like he might probably get a fine, but I don't think he's going to get suspended. And in fact, like if he was going to get suspended, they better.
No, they would have already done it.
Right. Like we're already on Tuesday, so I feel like that's not going to happen. Plus, like I would imagine this would have come up during the. We're already getting into it, but like when Daron Payne is appealing his decision, he's probably saying like, look at the video I just shared on Instagram. Look at it, and they're like, yeah, we don't care.
Side note on that. I do find it very interesting that no one, even at the NFL Network, could find video of that, and then all of a sudden he has it, which means he had to have gotten it from the team, right? Like the team was probably like, okay.
Well, no, everyone has it. Everyone, every team, every player has the All-22 probably for the entire game. Yeah. I mean, the cameras don't shut off in between plays, so of course the team has it.
But I'm saying even the NFL guys were like, couldn't find it. Like, and they should. So I guess they're limited in what they know too.
Yeah, I don't think they get the full All-22. I think they just get what we get, which is the play-by-play All-22. Nothing in between the plays.
What's the advantage of working for the NFL if you don't get the extra stuff?
That's it. That's the only. Sorry about the audio issues, everyone. I don't know what happened. Like my screen.
You were probably.
I could hear you fine. I could hear myself fine. My image in Zoom froze, and I think something on the broadcast side also froze. But you heard me the entire time.
I was watching the feed. I heard you the whole time, clear as a bell. You were frozen here and there, and then I noticed on the screen it was a lot glitchier. But as far as the audio, that I already went to
Micro Center. This is any problems that I currently have is Micro Center's fault.
What I wonder if you had like an auto download on something that was in the background that started chewing up memory or something like that, because I know you have a lot of memory that you need to utilize in order to stream on the platforms and all that jazz.
It wasn't even.
Are you frozen now?
No. I'm reading chat. I'm like, people are freaking out on YouTube about the audio, and I'm not like. And then everyone is saying just refresh and it's gonna be fine.
Jair Alexander stepping away from football. Well.
Oh shit! Really?
No, I don't blame him.
What is happening with that man?
He's lost it. When you fall off a cliff, you fall off a cliff hard, and so.
But like, it feels like there's something else there too.
Injuries.
Right? Yeah, no.
Too many injuries. You
mentally.
Can't come back from.
Because remember the weird like coin flip thing where like he went out as a captain and he wasn't a captain.
He went out when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. There's been something like mentally going on with him. It was when he was with Green Bay, and like they either suspended him or like they benched him for the first half of the next game.
Dude,
you don't remember this?
I've told you the story about how I accidentally said the wrong thing about somebody's mental capacity, wrong time, and I meant to say mental processing, and I just said mental capacity instead of mental processing capacity.
Yeah.
And I got burned. So I've tried to stay away from any potential mental health things that might be going on with these players. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No, the Packers
There's
suspended him
certainly-
for a game for conduct detrimental team because he went out for a coin toss when he wasn't the captain and then nearly botched the call.
I mean, I remember it as now that we're talking about it a little bit more, but I don't know. I mean, look, there is certainly, I mean, people are saying Antonio Brown, and there's certainly several cases of guys that play football and stuff happens, and you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
There's could
very
be a lot of
strange.
reasons though. There could be a lot of reasons for stuff like that happening though, and it's be hard for us to try and figure out why.
I need some reassurance from YouTube listeners that the audio is okay because I see Andrew is continuing to have problems. But is
Really?
everyone else okay? Everyone else seems to be saying just refresh. So I guess we're okay. I'm sorry for I don't really know what happened there. It's very weird. All right, let me get to the alerts, and then I do want to talk some Packers because I know Eric's gonna come with some heat about last night's game and some of the things that are happening. I can't hear you, but I have you muted. Okay, that's helpful. Okay, YouTube seems to be okay. All right. Scroll down. All right, 37 minutes ago. Oh, great, my connection's unstable. What is happening? Hold on. We're just gonna check everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing's being downloaded there. Can you hear me now?
I was yeah.
Okay, but I'm obviously
I can
extremely
see everything
delayed.
you're doing on the stream
No,
too.
I don't want to update that. Exit out of it. I know this is covering our faces.
Whoa. What a weird 2 months it must be to be a Packers fan. To go from like the Packers are the greatest team in the entire world ever to now being like, we should fire the head coach. I love it.
It's crazy.
I
It's
love
crazy.
it.
Listen.
They've looked bad. And
They
then
have.
you got Micah Parsons being like, the only losses that we've had, we've only allowed these many points. Yeah, but your offense is garbage right now, and that's why you continue to
Right.
lose.
Well, that's
good
the
on
thing,
your
like-
defense for playing okay, but it's a team game, buddy.
As much as we're freaking out about the Lions or we're freaking out about the Lions offense, they're going through it way worse right now. 20 points combined
yeah.
in the last 2 games. And granted, I do think the Eagles defense is starting to figure some things out. I know you have stats that seem to think they're garbage.
I was exaggerating ahead of the podcast.
Then who'd they play the week before that the Panthers? No.
Bye week, and then before the Green Bay? Yeah, they
Yeah.
lost 2 home games to the Eagles and the Panthers. The Panthers.
Does the Panthers defense? I honestly know so little about the Panthers, so I don't even know if they have a good defense or not. But I mean, when was the last time the Lions only scored 20 points in 2 games combined? Like, when's the last time you could even combine 2 games in a single season, any 2 games in a Lions season, and have the point total be 20 points?
I mean, obviously, my brain goes to 2021, but I have no idea even then. I feel like they had they had some stinkers in that year.
Carolina's 20th in DVOA
Ooh,
defense. It's I mean it's I don't know what to make of it, and some of it is the receiving core
there's a disconnect.
the receiving core is not good right now, right? There were a lot of drop passes last night.
Are you kidding me? They have 6 wide receiver ones on that roster.
I know what you're doing, but like Bo Melton is out there playing cornerback and wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, look,
A lot of guys are injured, right?
versatility. That's another wide receiver one and corner one.
Stop it. Golden was out. You didn't have Romeo Doubs at the end of that game either.
If you lose one player, but he was there the week before, right? Like,
okay, but tell me the Lions' offense isn't going to look drastically different if you pull Amon-Ra out of the lineup.
Oh, sure. You still have players though, and you should still win the game, right?
Jane Reed, didn't he break his collarbone?
I don't know.
Like I'm just saying, like we need to at least put some of this into context. They're down like their top 3 wide receivers.
Okay, I throw context out the window when the Lions had 18 players on IR and still won 15 games. All right, so like, look, the
killed
Eagles
them in the end.
Are not on paper. The Eagles on paper are not as statistically on paper as good as what their record is, but they're winning games because they are a team that knows how to win and they know how to pull these games out, and they're finding a way. You saw it last year with the Chiefs. The Chiefs just over and over and over should have lost games. Statistically, we're kind of average, but they found ways. That's what good teams do.
Sure.
The Packers are not a good team. If everything's right, they look great. A little bit of adversity, and then you got LaFleur over on the sideline playing Fruit Ninja while his defense is trying not to give up points.
Fruit Ninja.
That was the joke. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't.
That was on Twitter earlier. They showed because like they showed it on the broadcast. Like something didn't work, and he literally went all the way over to the bench, and he had the tablet on, and he was going through, and he was doing this, and like the defense is playing, and he's just like focused on the tablet, and then like somebody put a screenshot of him, and then a screenshot of
Gotcha.
Fruit Ninja.
I will say,
very clever. I wish I was that clever to come up with fun jokes like that.
I will say,
go ahead.
Sometimes the play calling from LaFleur is absolutely mind-boggling, or just like extremely predictable, to the point where not only on a 4th and 1 to keep your hopes alive late in the game is literally being called out by the defense. They're screaming outside zone this way, outside zone this way. But me from home is like, oh, it's 4th and 1. They're absolutely going to run this ball. They're absolutely going to give it to Josh Jacobs and assume that they're going to be able to bully and catch the Eagles offside, catch the Eagles on their back playing a little prevent. But like, as I'm thinking that, I'm like, but the Eagles are too smart. Like they're as much as we hate on their coaching staff too sometimes, like Sirianni's smart. He knows LaFleur, and their strength is their defensive line, and so they're going to be ready for a run play here, and gets blown up for -3 yards. It's just like I felt like I was Donnie Darko, and my body was leading me into the future, and I already knew what it was going to look like.
Oh, look, late in the game, down 10-0. And what is their best offensive play on the drive that gets them 7 points?
Hail Mary.
YOLO.
Pass interference.
Give me that pass interference. That's their go-to play. Like we talk about go-to plays all the time. Like down 10 points, gotta have it drive, 3rd and long or whatever it was. Let's just throw it 30 yards deep, throw it short because I don't have the arm strength to get it there.
Stop it! Stop it!
Running in
he has the arm strength. You troll.
And then boom.
You troll. There are still, by the way, people are like
best play.
There are people. Okay, I'm gonna rant here for a second on something else. 4 hours ago, I tweeted, "Here's a video of Amon-Ra's punch." There are still people replying to me, "Punch."
Yeah, you gotta put quotes on that thing, man.
No, y'all, you're a little too biased. A little too biased. A little too Honolulu blue glasses that you're seeing literally everything through.
At best, that was a jab. I don't know.
Stop it.
I mean, he definitely made contact with his helmet. That's for sure.
With his hand in a very forceful manner. AKA a punch! Sure. What are we doing?
not always, not necessarily. You could have just gave him a little John Brown there, and you know.
I don't know what it is about you today, but you are needling at me at a point where I'm like, I can see my face getting a little red. And I'm not like, I don't think anything should have happened to Amon-Ra. Let me be clear, but he punched him. What do we?
Kinda. I mean,
all right, I'm gonna take.
I wouldn't call it
from you. I will take a kinda. The Pintar. Thank you for the 26 months. Says I think I just slit my pants with excitement. Sure. Rise Beast $2 super chat says always love the episodes with Erik. Oh man, and he capitalized C in Erik.
Oh
wow, Rise Beast. That's aggressive.
Yeah. Everybody's trying to get we're all taking, we're all having fun out here.
Judd 91 20 months subscribed to the channel says could Campbell finally win Coach of the Year for 2025?
Nope.
not a chance.
Rigged trophy that they get. Yeah, every coach that wins it gets fired. So now I don't even want them to win it.
Who is it? Is it Steichen? Is it
yeah, it's the Colts. It's the Colts. It's
Patriots?
the Colts guy. No.
You don't think he's got a they're
I think he should. He should be in the conversation, but I think Indy's will win it. Offense wins.
No. I think
offense wins all the time.
I think the Colts are more likely to fall off in the back
Oh,
half.
sure.
So I think that yeah. So give me Vrabel.
Do they have comeback coach of the year? Because Vrabel could win that.
No. Because you know why? Because if you were bad enough to be considered comeback coach of the year, you're not employed. You've been fired.
I think they should consider it because after every coach that wins coach of the year, 2 years later they'd have a chance to win comeback coach of the year because they always crap the bed like the next 2 years after they win coach of the year. So like it'd be a nice little like second wave to give them another chance to get an attaboy.
You're driving me crazy again because now this is like Madden curse vibes. Like it's not a real thing.
Look at the coach of the years. What's the last coach of the year that's like stuck?
It's not that it's a curse. It's that you're rewarding a flash in the pan season.
Yeah, because they're terrible,
and you never know what is going to be a flash in the pan season and which is going to continue to be a good coach.
Kevin O'Connell, Kevin Stefanski,
still a coach.
Stefanski's going to get fired. Dable fired. Vrabel already fired. Stefanski, I just said he was going to get fired. There you go. John Harbaugh, 2019. Yeah. He basically won comeback coach of the year that they just called it coach of the year because he was so bad after his first wave that he surprised people and won it a second time. John Harbaugh in 2019. Okay, cool. Matt Nagy fired. McVay in 2017. Okay. Jason Garrett was fired right after that. Ron Rivera didn't last with the Panthers much longer after that. Bruce Arians, a couple years, and then he fell off too. Ron Rivera, a second time. When were the Panthers ever good enough that Rivera should have won twice?
Hey.
Right? 2013 and 15. Come on. What? Like Arians was so good in Indy that he won it in 2012 and then won it in 2014 with Arizona. You know why? Because he got fired from Indy. Right?
You know what my favorite Bruce Arians
moment
is?
They get fired.
Do you know what my favorite Bruce Arians moment is?
Probably something where he talks about Larry Fitzgerald. That's usually when he's at his best.
I do like Larry Fitzgerald, but it's a gif.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the Bruce Arians gif.
Yes, that one.
Yeah. It's so good. I never want to know the context of it, but it's just it's so good. All right. Quirky Zerky 48 months says 48 months for 48 points put up against the Eagles. Man, that would be something.
44. Woo. They average. What do they average? 21.3.
It's a pretty good defense.
That is exactly 10th. They will face off with the number 2 scoring offense in the league. 31.4.
Lions 56.
Something's got to give.
28888, thank you for the follow. Steel Lions, thank you for the 34-month subscribe to the channel. Says go Lions, go Lions. Darth Tater, 29 months, says what's up, One Pride Worldwide. Ken Fletcher, $25 donation to the Michigan Rogel Cancer Center. Says love you guys and the work you're doing. Can I get Jeremy's all-time favorite non-Lions defensive lineman on your face?
Oh gosh.
Ooh. Dwight Freeney.
Dwight Freeney, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I love that spin move.
Well, it was lethal.
Yeah. How now, Brown Cow? Thank you for the 31 months. Says Grandpa Joe, when you see Charlie, don't see me touch. Sorry. Grandpa Joe, when you see Charlie, you see me. Don't touch that golden ticket. Dead-Eye Jesus, Morning Sheriff. Mr. Shopping at Street Easy with a bad breezy, like I'm easy, please believe me. The Black Asiatic who will crack your back like an automatic Craftmatic. Mr. La Marina in a mesh marina with a fresh misdemeanor and a cold demeanor.
Demeanor.
Thank you. No, it was a non-lion. Oh, he was on the Lions. Can we?
That's true.
I forgot he was on the Lion for like a cup of coffee.
8 games or something.
Was it a full 8 games?
It felt like.
I was so excited when they signed him too. Jay Skywalker, thank you for the follow, and Big Foxy Fox, thank you for the 9 months subscribed on Twitch. I'm still writing Dwight Freeney. You can't stop me. Now's a good time to remind people that we are raising money for the University of Michigan Rogel Cancer Center. That bar at the top of your screen is how much we've raised so far in 11 days. Thank you, Kind Brown Cow. $25 donations, and I'll write whatever you want on my head. $50 donation, you can change my background. Is that right? No, $50 donation is muting one of us. $100 is changing the background. Is 75? Which one is like have to do impression? We haven't done that one yet. And there's a whole bunch of other things, like we're going to be raffling off prizes like every other stream. We're getting our auction going here pretty soon. I don't know if you saw last stream, but we got a couple more cards from our good friends at Reclaim Customs.
So I did. So I feel like I need to explain myself before you get into that.
Okay.
I opened up the stream to check you guys out, but then I had to go get my daughter from her theater class, and so and I picked up some of the neighborhood kids too and was dropping them off. So I just left the stream going, and Laura said that there were people talking like, calling me a lurker and stuff like that because I was like only like hanging out, not really getting involved. I was gone, but where I'm going with this is I was gone during the cards portion, and Laura said that was like super cool. They had some like really neat, cool cards, and I was pretty disappointed that I didn't get to see that.
Well, I have them right by my side here.
Look at that.
That is an
That's what she said.
Isaac Tuslaw with a jersey insert. One-handed catch from the season opener. Autographed as well. The whole thing is like, this is a one-of-one thing where like this is not in circulation anywhere. This is just something that our good friend Erik created on his own that has a whole like spiel on what the card is about. This is going to be up for auction later this month.
Yeah, Laura pointed that one out. I was getting text messages.
Cool. And then this is Dan Skipper after his iconic touchdown grab last year against the Bills.
Buffalo, yep.
signed as well. Very cool. And then we're going to be giving away all these Barry Sanders cards packs that have like 3 or 4 Barry Sanders cards in them. We've got 5 of them. So we're going to be auctioning off those all month. Maybe, if chat behaves themselves for another hour here, maybe we'll give one away. You have to behave yourselves and agree with everything I say.
No, that's I mean, if you want, that's fine. You guys can do that. I'm going to stay on my path, though.
Yeah, no, I have no hope for you.
I like that Tesla card's wicked.
It's super cool.
Yeah. I was saying I have one of those cards.
Sorry, butch that Kula. Sorry, but thank you for the $25 donation, Kula. Appreciate you.
I have one of those cards made by Erik as well, autographed as well.
Yeah, by yourself.
Right back there. Do you see it?
Sort of.
It's right back there. When we gave those ones away last time, and through the auction, I signed both of them, and then I picked which one had the better autograph, and then gave that one.
Oh, you gave that one away.
I kept the other one. Yeah, I gave the better one away, and then I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to the other one because it's so cool, you know.
Yeah. What does Erik have to do with the punishment? Age is his punishment.
I'm sure something will organically come up because the eggs thing was just. First of all, I'm not wealthy, not in this economy, and so buying like the amount of eggs would just be.
I'll say this,
ridiculous.
Like that's still on the menu. I think it's a $300 donation.
Oh, it is? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to do it. And I'll throw this out here today. I literally just got back from the grocery store. I have a fresh set of dozen eggs. If someone wants to throw $300 to the Rogel Cancer Center's way today, I'll do it at the end of the stream.
I literally bought eggs yesterday, but I don't.
Just throwing that out there.
You know, my Bean Boozled pack was like 3 years old. So when I switched desks this off season. And so I got rid of my 3-year-old Bean Boozled pack because that's the one that I was eating off of. So I need to get a new pack. So I don't think getting hit with paintballs is safe.
No.
If I recall correctly.
I wouldn't agree to that at all. I go through a lot and
I've seen people get hit.
I've never played. I would play paintball.
I've seen people come back with bruises from it. Like
you get welts. Like a firing range, like a shooting range of getting fired. That would be terrible.
Not allowed to wear jerseys into the press box. Sorry.
True. That's the reason. There were some people with Lions jerseys in the press box last time we were there. I don't know what their deal was, but
no, was it last time or the time before? But yes, I agree. I saw them as well.
We do need to get Bean Boozled as a sponsor. I don't know how to get sponsors, guys. I need someone to help me do that. I feel like we've been going for 10 years now, and we just have Righteous Felon. I'm like, it's probably our fault at this point that we don't have more sponsors. I just don't know how to do it.
The sponsors that have come up to me and offered stuff have not. I've never had one that aligns properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we have to keep in mind certain aspects of products that we would promote and how that might impact the professional lives outside of this podcast of some of our podcasters, right? So Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to be a little bit cautious.
True.
But yeah,
True.
I'm sure. Yeah, I do get T-shirt companies that reach out. I wonder if we could get like a T-shirt company. Did you get those anymore in your DMs?
Yeah,
Or
I'm
your
ready.
DMs closed right now?
No, my DMs are open. I just have to weed through all the garbage that gets put in there from bots.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of bots.
Yeah.
But
We don't. This is too inside baseball that I don't think too many people care about. But
I heard I heard Miko has
Miko's doing some digging.
I heard Miko has a transition that's pretty slick. That where he goes from like your guys' feed into the advertisement or something like that.
Oh,
Like that is
his segue.
a smooth transition.
His segue
Yeah,
is
segue.
fantastic. No doubt about it.
Okay.
He's in his bag now, as I think someone in YouTube put. 100%. No DJ Reed news yet. Tomorrow, I imagine we'll get any news if any of the players that are eligible to come back. So like DJ Reed, or Marcus Davenport. I feel like there were a couple others.
Gio's eligible
now.
But we'll see about him.
Let
me see if there's
we'll
someone
get
else.
to see Ahmed for the first time,
Oh yeah.
which I'm sure there will be a long line of reporters eager to talk to him because he's gonna cut a promo.
Khalil is eligible to come
Dorsey.
back this week.
Interesting.
As well. Yeah. I don't know where he's at, but
If there's ever a live action Simpsons movie, Jeremy is Ned Flanders. Darth, you've been around long enough to know that one of our goals one year was for me to do a Ned Flanders cosplay. In fact, I'm pretty sure I still have all of the clothes necessary to do it again, which means I could dangle that carrot in front of you right now. If we get to 6,000, you want me to throw on my Ned Flanders outfit? I will. How about that? Throw it out there. I'll diddly do it. All right.
oh gosh. I thought Ryan looked nice yesterday and people were mean by saying he looked like Andy Reid light. I liked it. I do get why people said it, but I thought it was a little mean. I mean, Andy Reid light.
He said bundle Ruski at the very end.
I know.
And it was
He did.
very
I saw
funny.
that. Yes, he's a good sport. He's a very good sport. Yeah, I heard Andy Reid.
Not the sexy Ned Flanders, not the snowsuit Ned Flanders. Stupid sex. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Anyways,
My oldest was Lisa Simpson
I saw
for
that.
Halloween this year.
March? No,
No, she was Lisa.
she was Lisa. Okay.
Yep.
You showed me the picture, and for some reason I'm picturing March. All right. Y'all are hating on Marcus Davenport, which I think it means it's time to get back on track here. They have started Rodrigo's clock. He's 2 weeks in now, so he's almost certainly going to get activated this week.
Yep. They got until they have less than a week on his clock.
So he should be activated on Saturday, I would imagine. Saturday.
Oh, I would hope so.
Is anyone else in their clock right now?
Yeah. You have
Pascal.
the guard.
Pascal just
Yep.
returned it.
and Miles Frazier.
All right. All right. Did we enjoy the silver pants yesterday or Sunday? Nope. White on silver doesn't make sense to me. The white blue look is so clean. I don't get the obsession over the silver pants. I think it looks fine with the blue. Like at home, I think the silver works. I think the white silver combo just doesn't make sense to me. Erik just wears
I don't
monochromatic
care about
t-shirts.
uniforms.
Erik just has a closet of whatever color that is, charcoal shirts. There's just his entire closet is just 15 of those.
I do have like 3 of the charcoal because I do like it. I have 4 of the black and 3 of the charcoal, and I have 4 of the light gray as well. Um, but the other ones I only have 1 or 2 of. But the darker ones certainly are my jam. A couple of them have Pride of Detroit logos on them too.
I do like wearing dark clothing, but Zazu sheds everywhere and there's just hair everywhere. And so anytime I wear anything black, everyone's like, "Oh, you got a dog at home, huh?" I'm like, I lint rolled this thing, I swear, like 5 times. Nothing I can do.
Well, it's in your car, I'm sure. You know what I mean?
It definitely is.
I'm sure like it's you get it all done. Um
Not that obvious. Thank you for the 27 months subscribed on Twitch, and I think it's time to get back to it. You ready?
Sure.
Great. We doing it.
Right when you got a request.
What? I don't even have my request pulled up. What?
Zazu.
All right,
Pet
we'll bring
Zazu.
him in. We'll bring him in. Zazu, come here. Zazu, come. Come here, buddy. Come here. He was on the
Poor guy was probably sleeping.
He's sleeping all day. That's what he does. Zazu, come. Come here. There he comes. Come here. All the way. Come on. I know you got to work around the... All the way. Come here. Come. Yeah. Come on. Right here. No, you got to scooch in. Scooch in. Now come here. Come. The people have requested you. What are you doing? What are you doing? 1, 2, 3.
I can't figure out why you have pet hair on you all the time.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I'm still trying to put my finger on why.
He's being a little smartass today, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
I have a picture of me and him almost in the exact same pose. So
This feels like, you know how there's like, you might not know this because you're old. There's like an Instagram trend of like cheesy Sears holiday photo shoots. This is what this feels like right now. That's it. All right, you can go. Thanks, buddy. It's a really funny trend. Like there are a lot of like sports teams that are doing it. Having their anyways.
the stupidest videos that I watch right now, and they're so dumb. It's just so dumb. But the ones that make me laugh right now, the trendy ones right now, are the AI chiropractor ones.
Who shared that? There was like an NFL player who shared them on my timeline. I'm like, what is like? It got too uncomfortable for me. Where it was like they're extremely violent. I don't want to see this extremely violent thing happen to like a 70-year-old.
But that's
that's not fun. That is like almost traumatic to me.
It's like it catches you off guard. Like that's the thing that makes it, I think, funny. Is like it's almost, look, they overdo it to show that it's not like for real.
That's my new Christmas card right there.
You got it. Oh man, they're so
Lance Blood.
dumb. They're those AI videos that they have. They're so dumb. Did you ever see the one with the did you ever see the one with the cat that like befriends the farm animals? This was another one from like a year ago. I feel like this cat will go to a farm, and it's like this. It's supposed to be like this sweet story, and the cat like takes a trip over to the farm. He gets the farm and he looks around and meets the pig, and then like is like, oh, what a nice pig. And they go out and they go swimming together, and then they like play tennis, and then they do a quick cut, and the cat like the cat like assassinates the pig, and then then like cooks it. It's like just a jump scare, like a total 180 on it. It's so dumb,
Eric, are
but
you
so
okay?
no, it's this AI cat, this orange AI cat, and he befriends like you'll see him like befriending a chicken, and then like it'll jump cut, and he'll be like eating chicken, like fried chicken, like the next thing, and you're like, oh my God, it's so awful, but it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Oh, it's the only thing AI is good for.
This this is the
Is these
weirdest side of you
dumb.
I've ever heard in my life. Like I get you. I feel like I get you, and when you tell me things about your life, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. You
This
watching
is
AI
it's
videos of
stupid.
this weird narrative of
No,
animals getting along and then betraying each other is the weirdest thing I've ever heard about your life. The weirdest
it's
thing.
it's like I saw like five of them or whatever, like because they just show up or whatever. It's not like I'm like searching them out and like what, but like
But you're
they
watching them
crack
in
me
their
up because
entirety.
yes, because they're it's because it's the same reason why I like it's one of the reasons why M. Night Shyamalan is one of my favorite directors, because I like the total switch, like you're expecting one thing and it's you're getting it, and then all of a sudden it's just like flipped on its head. That's the stupid stuff that's like that makes me laugh. It's so dumb, but like yeah.
I'm glad most of chat is on my side here, where you're just like
It's
they're
fine. It's not.
befuddled by you.
It's so stupid. It's not even the dark part that I think is funny. What I think is funny is the that it's just that things like completely switched so far. It's so weird. All right, maybe
I think in segment two.
it's so dumb. It's so stupid humor. It's just like I like complicated humor and sarcasm and clever jokes as much as anyone, but my God, sometimes the stupid humor just hits.
Listen, I'll sit and watch America's Funniest Home Videos for 30 minutes. I'm not above lowbrow humor. This is just weird. And you know what? You're supporting AI, which is coming for our jobs, by the way. AI is putting you out of a job, and you're just like, haha, the sheep ate the wolf. That's ironic.
It's always a cat.
Okay.
No, I don't know. There might be a sheep. I don't know. I don't know what else they do. There's probably a whole genre that I'm unaware of.
I
But
hate
it's
this
just
topic. I hate this topic so much right now.
I do like Mr. Bean. Thank you, Kizurki. Like it's when I want to just stupid humor. Stupid humor. I love it's so dumb. So dumb. All right. All right. I'm focused. Let's get serious.
All right. Good luck to
So-
Miko for finding the edit points in this podcast.
oh, let's do a pause. We'll do a
Yeah.
pause and he can get it.
And not a cat pause, because I know you like cats. Oh, boy. All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Midweek Mailbag here on the Pride of Detroit podcast feed, or on youtube.com/Pride of Detroit or twitch.tv/Pride of Detroit. We're done with the coordinator talks and play calling talks. Let's move on to something different here. Let's talk special teams, because Aaron K. and Tom W. over on Pride of Detroit Direct both want to know pretty much this one question. What's up with special teams? I feel like the only phase we're good at is when we punt, and that might be carried by Jack Fox. What's going on here, Eric?
Well, sometimes they don't even need Jack Fox to punt, which is really fun. I like
Sure.
those games quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's up with the trajectory of Bates's kicks the last couple of games. Dave Phipp told us that he clipped the ground before he hit the ball and then hit the ball in the wrong spot, and that's what caused the first one. We'll find out what happens here again. That would be unfortunate if it was a similar type situation. Obviously, those things are correctable, but it was certainly discouraging to see it happen twice, 2 games in a row.
Sure.
The big plays, we talked about this last week that Washington's special teams is phenomenal. They're one of the best in the league. And so I wasn't shocked that they were able to spring one. I wasn't surprised that the Lions weren't able to get a ton going from a return aspect, because again, Washington is really good at covering both punts and returns, and so I give them a little bit of a pass because Washington is so good at it. I do have concerns about the field goals though, because that's points, right? Like those are points you should put on the board. And Bates he's got a reputation of being pretty close to automatic in certain situations, and so in game situations, right? But that's the biggest issue I have. I think some of the other stuff is you ran up against some good special teams units, and you got caught more than anything.
Yeah, I don't know what I think of the kicking situation yet. I think part of it is just you got 2 blocked kicks in 2 weeks, and that seems like, oh my God, there must be a major problem, but it's also just like 2 block kicks in 2 weeks, and thankfully neither turned out, well, I'm sorry, thankfully one turned out to be not that big of a deal. The other one, definitely a big deal. And, I think generally speaking, that stuff is pretty easily correctable, especially if it's both just, you kicked it in the wrong spot. That's how field goal kicking works, is like a little tiny mistake has drastic results. The kick return stuff is interesting because that feels like that's been something that's at least a little bit more consistent. There were some issues early on in the season, then it feels like it got smoothed out, and now you've given up 2 long returns in back-to-back weeks and almost a third against the Vikings that got called back. But you also did a really good job in kick coverage on every other opportunity. Now, you also got aided by the weird loophole rule where you got to kick it out of bounds twice and have them start at the 25. But of the other 7 kickoffs, you had the one bad one. You had one that was returned to the 31. And then all of the remaining 5 kickoffs that were returned were stopped before the 30. And that's really freaking good. Like, that's great. I think every single special teams coordinator, will take anything inside the 30. And you succeeded in that 5 out of 7 times, and 5 out of 7 times. And then if you add the 2 out of bounds kickoffs, you bump that to 7 out of 9 times. That's pretty good. And I understand you can't allow the outliers to happen. You're giving up good field position, which can lead to points and often does lead to points, but I don't think there's like a consistent issue. I think against the Commanders, it was just, I don't remember who it was, but someone just missed a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen. And I think that's how most of these kickoffs are going to get sprung, is someone is going to miss a tackle. And so it's just it doesn't feel like a schematic thing. It doesn't seem like a fundamental, it doesn't feel like it's something that Dave Phipp is doing wrong necessarily, unless it's just like having the wrong guy out there.
Right. They're 12th in DVOA in special teams, right? There's a lot of good teams in the NFL, most notably like the Eagles that we're going to see this week. They're 21 in DVOA in special teams. And so I kind of take this criticism of the special teams being a situation where Lions are just really good. And so there's not, you're looking for things to nitpick on.
Right.
I think their special teams are doing okay. They haven't been perfect, but they're still an above average unit.
Yeah. Honestly, my biggest complaint is that Dave Phipp seems to not be that interested in explosive returns in the kickoff game. He seems to be just like totally happy with getting across the 30 every time, or close to across the 30 every time. And he's basically said that a couple times, he's a little bit more eloquent and there's a little bit more nuance to it, but he basically says, I'd rather return it to the 31 every time than get one explosive and get in danger of getting tackled behind the 20 a few times. That's a philosophical difference I have from him. But I understand it, and that's just how it's going to be. So not going to fuss over it.
I think their combination from last week with Khalif and Sione is probably their best bet for an explosive, though.
Yeah, possibly true.
We'll see if it can happen moving forward.
Next question from Cruz at Zay1988 on Twitter. It says, is St. Brown likely to be fined for the punch at Daron Payne? Also, are there any players coming back this week? We don't know about the players coming back this week. We do know, like Malcolm Rodriguez, his clock is expiring this upcoming week, so chances are very, very good he gets activated on Saturday and probably plays. We'll have to see if guys like DJ Reed, Marcus Davenport, Giovanni Manu come back or get their clock started. Khalil Dorsey get their clock started based on what estimates that we've heard in the past. Like there's a chance Reed and Davenport might get their clocks activated, but I wouldn't expect them to play this week. So, but let's talk about Amon-Ra real quick, because if you guys haven't seen the long-awaited Zapruder film of the scuffle that Daron Payne, or actually that Javon Kinlaw insisted included an Amon-Ra punched first situation has been released, and by Daron Payne, of all people. Shocking. He found he had the all 22 in between plays, and it shows basically first Daron shoves Amon-Ra, then Amon-Ra shoves him back, and then they get in each other's face, and then Amon-Ra swings and hits his helmet. You want to call it a punch? That's, I would say, accurate. You want to call it a shove in the face mask? You can call it that. I don't really care about parsing through language and calling it whatever you want. He did something that has been very, very regularly called a penalty, because in this instance, he was the last person to do it, right? Like when two people are shoving, the refs always flag the last person. And there was a ref right there who did not flag the situation, just broke it up, and we went along our merry way. And obviously not everyone was merry. Daron Payne was livid and took it out 2 plays later. So I think we both agree that so much time has passed at this point, and Daron Payne has already gone through an appeal of his suspension and lost it. And you have to believe that during that appeal, he probably brought up this exact video and said, hey, look what happened to me. This is why I did it. Why no punishment for him? So I think we can agree that Amon-Ra is not going to get suspended. We're recording this on Tuesday night. That would be pretty wild if they did something like that. But fine.
I'm going to say no.
Really?
And I'm going to say no for the same reason why I don't think it was flagged. And that is Daron Payne was walking away from the situation, turned, and went back to then push Amon-Ra. And then Amon-Ra retaliated to that push. Now, Amon-Ra certainly was pushing Daron Payne as Payne was kind of walking, but Payne was a step away, and he turned, took a step towards him, which is the exact opposite direction he should be heading. And then that step towards him, I believe, is viewed as kind of an escalation of the event. Amon-Ra, then they do have that little scuffle, and Amon-Ra's hands get certainly high. Whether it's a punch or a push or whatever you want to call it, that's okay. But I think the reason it wasn't flagged was because Daron Payne turned to escalate the situation. And I think that's why it wasn't flagged. And I think looking at the NFL, if they don't find him, it's probably because of that. Now, again, I'm not saying Amon-Ra didn't make contact with his head, and I'm not saying that he got the last bit of contact, and certainly you can see his head jolt. But there's other factors that I think could end up going in the direction of why he doesn't get fined. And I think that he didn't get a penalty because Duran was the one who went back towards Amon-Ra as the two teams were separating. He was the one that went upstream and sought out Amon-Ra to push him back. And that's what then the little hand fighting in the helmet.
I don't view that as what happened at all, to be quite honest. I
Well,
think
look,
the two
is he
players are
walking away?
separating. Yeah, and then Amon-Ra shoves him.
Okay. Right. And then he turns and he
Yes.
and he retaliates back.
Yes.
If he doesn't turn back to retaliate, then you don't have this
Right.
set of events.
And if Amon-Ra doesn't shove him, we don't have this.
Right.
Like, we can.
I understand.
These layers back.
Right.
Both
But
players,
I'm saying,
go ahead.
all I'm saying is if he's not going to get fined,
Yeah.
and the reason that I think the NFL didn't throw the flag was because even as the teams are separating, shoving that him turning around and walking back against the stream of where players were dissipating is why I think they didn't throw the flag, because the ref is right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're giving him too much credit.
away.
Like he's thinking through
All right,
all
well,
this. I don't think he's thinking through all this. I think he thinks in
Who,
that
the
moment,
ref?
let me get these players separated because it's escalating now. If there was there's 3 refs in like the vicinity, but only one, like everyone else is dissipated. No one else is looking at it. If that, I'm of the belief if there was even a single other ref watching when that happened, a flag gets thrown, and it should.
Man, he
That
he
is
had a
hit to the-
clear view. He had a clear view
Oh, he
of the
did.
incident.
Yes, he did.
And he didn't throw the flag. And
Yeah.
I think
Are you suggesting refs always throw the flag when they should?
no, but if there's a punch in the face, they typically do. And that's why I also wonder if this is a punch or a shove or whatever it is. I agree with you that the contact is made, but we're looking at one angle from a distance. So
That's
we
true.
don't know, right? We don't know the the different things that are going on, and we certainly don't have the referee's point of view, who was right there. It's like we get so like we get so opinionated on plays and should they be in or should they be out, and like a lot of times we have to just sit there and say, look, the referee was 3 feet away from them. Like he's going to have a better viewpoint than we do, and he didn't call it. And if I'm guessing why, that's my reason that I'm guessing why. Could be I could be wrong, but
I just think, looking at the entire event now, clearly starting several plays before Duran Payne clearly throws a punch. I think we can all agree that was a punch and a sucker punch, which is why I feel like that is suspension worthy, while like shoving, punch, we see that happen a lot, right? But because this is now an event that lasted several plays, both players are certainly culpable in continuing to escalate this to a point where it got to where it went. I think there has to be some sort of punishment on Amon-Ra's part. Like, I don't think it's going to be a suspension. I do think there has to be a fine here. I do think there has to be some sort of, because honestly, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for, I don't care whether you call it a punch or not.
yeah, but they
like,
didn't find Juju.
Well, Juju didn't throw a punch.
No, but I'm saying
Yeah.
they didn't find Juju for that hit, just like they didn't find Khalif for the hit. You know what I mean? Like,
Because it's not illegal.
because that, but that was right. But that hit was the escalator, is what I'm saying. Like,
Yes. But a block in the back, which
escalator
is a
isn't-
foul, but not a finable foul, can be an escalator. A punch in the face is illegal, and like
but
roughing,
again,
unnecessary roughing is
that
a
a punch?
finable offense.
Okay. One, we have to be careful in saying what is it. Is it clearly a punch? I don't know. I don't have the angles. I'm saying he makes contact with his head. I don't know how, in which manner he makes contact with his head. I'm just saying
Probably with the arm.
the
that
ref
you
was
see
right
swinging.
there. Well, I don't think. First of all, I don't see it swinging. Like I don't. I certainly see them pushing each other. I don't see it.
Oh, Eric, come
All
on.
right. Well, I mean, I'm gonna go look for the video again so that I can but I don't remember a swing. I know they were pushing each other, and I know the contact was made in the head. But that's
And then
about
an
all that I
arm
have
comes
on that video.
and all right, we should move off it because whatever, it doesn't matter. We're going to find out on Sunday whether anyone gets fined, or Saturday whether anyone gets fined. I'd be very surprised if Amon-Ra doesn't, but also it doesn't matter because it's not coming out of our pocketbooks, right? Like I'm not going to be upset one way or the other. It's just very strange to me.
Dude, okay. All right.
Next question from Kevon McAllister on Twitter says, has the defensive line's gap discipline just been bad, or what is the reason behind the lack of run defense lately? Now, I want to preface this with saying, like, run defense was actually pretty good against Washington, right? That is a team that's averaging over 5 yards a carry, over 120 yards a game. The Lions held them
over
under
140. They were 139.9 is what they were averaging coming into this game.
That's
Washington
over 140. It's
okay.
just under 140.
Sorry, I re-clarified to be specific for you. If you don't, I know you don't like. I know you don't like being specific in your language.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to dismiss it. But that's
no.
That's,
I mean,
that's,
well,
you know.
no. I was actually asking you to be more specific in your language because you lied. You said over 140.
No. All right. Go ahead.
This
Continue
is
with your.
I don't know if people are going to love or hate this episode where we are just being extremely petty towards each other, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah, so I think it's important to point out that the run defense was fine last week. You know, Washington had some success on the ground, but not a lot. But if you go back to the Minnesota game, there was some issues earlier in the season. How do you diagnose some of the... I mean, because I feel like we've almost been spoiled with how good the run defense has been in previous years, where it's like they're holding teams to 60 rushing yards. They're not letting any rusher get over 100 or any team get over 100 rushing yards. What do you think is going on, and what's your level of concern, I guess, for the run defense?
It's not bad. They certainly had their struggles against Minnesota. Specifically Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones had the secret sauce against them. Not as much their backups, but they do a pretty good job overall. You know what I mean? Like, Washington was held under their average. I was trying to look up how many they actually had last week, but I didn't get it up in time. But it's I know it was under that 139.9. Yeah. And I know on average for the season, the Lions are giving up less than 95 yards a game on the season. But this question was of late, right? So, yeah. I don't really think I have like a specific thing that I'm pointing towards. Other than the fact that, like I said, one, Washington is good. Yeah, that was a principal component of their offense, and I don't know. I don't know why Aaron Jones was able to cut him up the way that he was. It just seemed like they weren't holding. Like we talked about when we went over it, we talked about like Kerryon Arnold wasn't holding his edge. Aiden Hutchinson wasn't holding his edge. Anzalone was fit in the wrong gaps. Even Brian Branch and him were in the same gap at times. And so, like, that was just, it seemed like an abnormality type of game where all these guys that are usually very consistent were making errors. And so I don't know what attributed to that. Was it them trying to do too much? Was it this? Whatever it was, that combination of things just came to bite them against Minnesota.
Right. And so I think with the question here, was there some issues with defensive line gap discipline? I think yes on the edges, right? I feel like sometimes you saw Aiden crash in too much, lose the edge. Happens a little bit on the edge. Like if you're looking for a reason why like Al-Qadim Muhammad isn't playing a lot right now, it's because he's not a great run defender, which is tough to say. But like part of the reason I do want Marcus Davenport back is that I'm like Tyler Lacey is getting 30 snaps a game or something. And
he did last game. He outsnapped Muhammad last game. And that happens against teams that you expect to run the ball a lot.
Right. Um, Marcus Davenport is a guy that you can leave out there kind of any down.
One other thing I want to point out is that for the last two games, they've run three linebackers 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And in order to run three linebackers 100% of the time and play your nickel 30% of the time, which is what they've been doing the last two games, the position that they've been removing has been a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And so you're removing the defensive tackle, you're sliding your edge into almost a defensive tackle position, and then your linebackers taking your edge spot. And they're doing that about 30% of the game, and that could be a component of this as well.
You're taking some beef off the line, which is funny because if you see them playing three linebackers 100% of the time, your brain naturally goes, oh, they must be stacking the box all the time. But since that's coming, like you said, at the expense of a defensive lineman, that's not actually what's happening a lot of the time. So
they do stack the box a lot of time, like almost 35%, but 35% versus 70 when they're in base,
right?
It's not the same.
Next question here, sticking with the defensive line, our friend Ash Sodness. Where do Pascal and Davenport figure to fit in with a defensive line rotation? With the team seemingly cut back on the numbers of defensive linemen active on game days and not with a lot of spare snaps to go around beyond the starters, they seem almost surplus to requirements.
Davenport's going to cut into Muhammad, and Pascal's going to cut into Lacey. That's kind of the way that I envision it.
I kind of I kind of almost think the opposite.
Well, Pascal, based on the language that they used with Pascal in the offseason, when they continually talked about him, they always talked about his interior play and how they wanted to utilize. Yeah. And to me, that says 4I. Right. And so it's kind of some of the stuff that they did with Muhammad earlier in the year, or maybe middle part of the year, where he was doing edge and 4I.
Yeah, but they've moved a little bit away from that.
Yeah, and Davenport can do that as well, but he's at his best, like you said, when setting the edge. And so I would think it's still going to be a rotation of like these two different styles of players. You are going to have a surplus of them. It means Muhammad snaps are going to go down, Lacey snaps are going to go down, and you're going to start seeing Pascal. You're going to have four guys rotating opposite Aiden instead of just two.
Yeah. And I think that's what we have to come to a conclusion of too. And listen, Pascal still has a lot to prove as a player, but I think he's probably an improvement over Al-Qadim Muhammad or Tyler Lacey. And I think as much as he's maligned here for the injury stuff, I very much think Marcus Davenport is an improvement over Tyler Lacey or Al-Qadim Muhammad or whoever you want to use as the one-to-one comparison there. And so it's just, it's like getting a Lee McNeil back in a way where it's just, that means you're going to get less snaps for someone like Tyleek, but you're upgrading the position. And that's okay. That's fine. And I know people are already starting to get a little antsy with someone like Tyleek, first round pick. Why is he only getting 8 snaps? Because Brad Holmes has to tell you a million times you don't draft for need this year. You draft for down the line. And at some point, Tyleek is going to be a starter. And at some point, he's going to be getting 60 snaps. Probably next year. And I know, we're not getting all these immediate contributions from the draft. And other teams are getting more bang for their buck with these draft picks. But that's because their teams suck. Right? Like, that's because their teams suck, or they're picking earlier in the draft and getting better players. The Lions need the reinforcements to sometimes come a year later after they're drafted, and that's okay. I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but I think a lot of people were wondering about Tyleek as well, so threw that in there. All right, let's close things out with some Eagles questions here. Ryan J., one of our Pride of Detroit Direct subscribers, says, after watching Monday Night Football, the disruptive D-lines of both Green Bay and Philly have me concerned. Love and Hurts both had to move to make plays. This isn't exactly JG's superpower. Convince me I have nothing to worry about.
Well, it's all about distribution. Jordan Love likes to hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff gets it out quick. And so if you want to dismantle the pass rush, you just get the ball out before the pass rush gets home, and that's going to start to put them on their heels because now they're going to have to start to account for what's happening underneath. The Lions are the number one team in the NFL when it comes to yards after the catch, and that's because they throw the ball quickly, get it in their skill players' hands, and let those skill players run. So if the Eagles are going to continue to try and rush their defensive line and get home and try and get home before Goff can get rid of the ball, they're also going to have to adjust by trying to bring down their linebackers. And if you start bringing down your linebackers, now you open up crosser routes for JMO. And so it's a pick your poison with Detroit. And let's see, what are the Eagles get home, they get pressure about 2.6 seconds. That's middle of the pack, right? 2.64 seconds. So that's about middle of the pack when it comes to getting pressure. It looks pretty, impressive. But the Packers also lost Elgin Jenkins. He's their all-pro center, and so that kind of factors into it a little bit as well. And I think the Packers' offensive line has kind of been declining a little bit as the season has wore on, whereas I think Detroit's in the opposite direction. They've been getting better. You've seen better games out of Tate Ratledge. Of course, you're starting a new left guard, and that's going to be something you have to account for. But I think the Lions will have a game plan that will, lean on some of their strengths, which is get the ball out early and try and slow that pass rush down.
Yeah, to highlight some of the things you said, especially when it pertains to the game last night, Jalen Hurts holds the ball on 3.05 seconds, which is second longest, and Jordan Love is at 2.84 seconds. So Jordan Love is 11th longest. So, like you said, he's holding on to the ball long. Jared Goff is at 2.74 seconds, which is 22nd longest. Gets rid of it relatively quickly. And then, of course, like everything that the Lions build from the pass game is essentially stemmed from their run game. And Jared Goff is going to get plenty of time as long as they stay in good down and distances. And the way they stay in good down and distances, because they are such a run-heavy team on first and second down, is to make sure they're running the ball well. And here's the good news. They can't stop the run very well. The Eagles are giving up 119 rushing yards per game and 4.4 yards per carry, which are both well below average. Now, they're trending in the right direction. They held the Vikings to 89 yards. They held the Giants, although they didn't obviously have Scattaboo in that game, to 68 yards. And the Packers do 104 and 3.9 a carry. So they're trending in the right direction, but there's some ugly games before then. They gave up 172 to the previous Giants game, 130 to the Broncos, 104 to the Bucks, 160 to the Rams, 120 to the Chiefs, 120 to the Cowboys. So you can run on this team.
There's not a single run defense stat that they're in the top 10 of. And the one that should stand out as the most glaring is that they stack the box 13% of the time, the least amount in the NFL. And if you don't stack the box against the Lions, they're going to run on you. And so you want to slow down the pass rush, just start punching them in the mouth.
Yeah.
Punch them in the mouth, get the ball out quick, and you'll move the ball on the Eagles.
You know the last team to not stack the box against the Lions was?
Washington.
They stacked it 6.1% of the time, and look what happened. So
yeah, 200 basically.
220 or whatever. So yeah, I think, listen, do I think it's a mismatch in terms of the interior pressure that the Eagles can generate versus the Lions' kind of interior, still figuring things out offensive line? Yes, I do. I do think that's a mismatch that could cause trouble. But the Lions have a lot of ways to mitigate it, whether it's getting rid of the ball quickly, whether it's getting into non-obvious passing downs and passing it, running play action, whatever it is. It's going to put a little bit more pressure on the run game this week, and you're going to have to make sure that you're as effective as you were last week.
Teams run outside on the Eagles 54% of the time, 10th most in the NFL. They prefer to run outside on the Eagles because they have those run stuffers in the middle, so you run outside. And where the Lions run the most, they run the most outside zone. And so you're going to see gaps and you're going to see pin and pulls. You're going to see whams, stuff like some stuff you saw last week, some stuff you've seen in the past. And, that's when you have a Vic Fangio defense that plays a kind of a zone shell, you start chewing up the offensive line or their defensive line with throwing them off. It certainly makes that show a little weaker.
Interesting point from Phenoms that I hadn't considered yet. Tate Ratledge, pretty familiar with a lot of the guys on that former Georgia front
Sure.
From the Eagles
Sure.
as well. Or maybe you just maybe you goad one of them into spitting in your face on the very first play of the game. How about that?
I think what you should do is you should punch one of them in front of the ref, and then they will punch you 2 plays later, and then they'll get kicked out.
I'm glad you admitted it's a punch now. Kenya Duggett asks, do you think the Lions will go heavy with the blitz against the Eagles?
Okay, so here's a fun thing. The Eagles are blitzed the most of anybody in the NFL. Hurts is blitzed 38.7% of the time. He's blitzed more than any quarterback in the NFL. And when you blitz him, his passer rating is middle of the road. It's about 13. He's about 13 in EPA against the blitz. It's pretty good because he's a top 6 in passer rating when he's not blitzed. And so I do think they'll blitz. And the Lions, let me see. Well, Lions blitz around 30% of the time. And again, that's kind of it's weird to look at that number as an average because there's some games when they blitz like really low percentages, some games they blitz really high, right? But I think they're going to blitz a little bit more, and I'm hoping that they run a little zone behind it as opposed to playing their man-to-man. Because another little quirk I found when I was researching Hurts was that his EPA versus man coverage, he's 4th best in the NFL. But his EPA versus zone, he's 30th in the NFL. So blitz, play a little bit of zone, and you might put a little pressure on Hurts to make accurate throws. And as we saw last week against the Packers, he's not always the most accurate quarterback. He's just typically he's efficient, but he's not always like pinpoint accurate.
It feels again like one of those going back all the way to the Ravens game. Like maybe that's the game plan again, where you're dropping some guys into coverage along that defensive front, but sending others kind of doing the simulated pressure thing, but also keeping a guy around to spy and keeping everyone behind that either in zone so that they got their eyes on Hurts or with the occasional man. But that wide receiving core, pretty talented against a secondary that, we don't know who's even going to be available at this point in the week.
Be nice to get Kirby back.
We can get Kirby back, but like Terrion, we don't know where he's progressed in his concussion protocol at this point. We don't know if DJ Reed, it seems like DJ Reed is kind of unlikely, even if they start his clock this week to play. So could be a little bit of a mismatch, and maybe a little bit more zone concepts helps protect those guys in the back. But we'll see. Last question here, not an Eagles question, but I think one that kind of ties everything together nicely. Judd asks, with Dan Campbell taking over play calling and our offense being competitive again and the defense holding its own, what do you feel is one glaring weakness on either side of the ball that you feel needs to improve for the Lions to make a Super Bowl run?
Do you have one loaded up? Because I don't have like a really good one. All mine are just little nitpicky things. Like stop running. I don't like the screens. Stop running screens and don't run them back to back.
I feel like
it's.
Go ahead. If you want to keep talking, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say run more Texas routes. Less screens, more Texas.
I think mine defensively is. I do think at some point the pressure is going to need to get there a little quicker. Because I understand they're high in pressure rate. I understand they're high in sack rate. But at some point...
It's crazy.
But like the time to throw is worst in the league. And I don't think that can hold up long term. I understand your secondary is playing really well and allowing the pressure to get home, and some of that is by design, but they still need to get there quicker. And I'm hopeful that when Aleem is back to his full self and when Davenport is back out there, hopefully for more than a game or two, that those guys will start winning their one-on-ones. Because as much as we want to say that the Lions take their time and crush the can, and that takes time and patience and good secondary play, sometimes you just need to get to the quarterback. Sometimes you just need to make sure, because there are quarterbacks out there that they're going to face in the playoffs that will make you pay just by giving him that much time. You know, whether it is some of the guys in the AFC, your Mahomes or your Allens, or some of the guys Matthew Stafford will make you hurt for doing that. And I was about to bring up maybe a Seahawks quarterback, but I know you don't believe in that. So
I do not. Dude, when you look at the stats that the Lions have, it's startling. Like, it's passing yards per play, they're 9th. EPA per pass, they're 10th. Yak yards, they're 3rd. Pressures, 8th. Pressure rate, 5th. Sacks, 4th. Sack rate, 4th. Time to pressure, 30th. Yeah. Like, and then time to throw is 32nd. And
right.
so,
and that's why they look, I think they're like literally 32nd in ESPN's pass rush win rate, which is not something I respect, but it highlights how long the pressure is getting there. And I don't believe that's going to be sustainable to keep up a top 10 sack rate while taking the third longest to get to the quarterback.
It's surprisingly effective over 9 games now. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you would think they would have leveled off at this point, but they really haven't. And so I agree with you. You need to be able to unlock the pressure at some point, but you know, maybe getting a guy like Davenport back helps that.
Yep.
Right. Geez, I don't know. I don't
it's
know.
Perfect. Just say they're a perfect team.
No, they're not. I mean, because like they literally have one flaw on offense, but there's only one that I see, and it's their time to pressure. Their time to pressure is 31st. They typically, you know, when teams get home, when the teams get past the offensive line, it usually happens quick. Yeah. But it just doesn't happen that often, right? Like, even though they're 31st in time to pressure, they're still 17th in pressure rate because it's
literally the inverse problem.
And they're 10th in pressures allowed. Like, they don't allow pressures a lot, but when they do, it's quick. Yeah. And so, and honestly, that's the only like real flaw that like stands out. And like, I don't, how's that correctable? That's basically like when a guy makes a mistake, they get got.
Take longer to make mistakes.
Welcome to the NFL, I guess, right? And like, honestly, I think the defense is playing great. So, you know, they have little things that they're going to have to tweak here and there. Like, you just faced 2 pretty good teams that were effective against the run with you, so you got to shore that up a little bit now. But and Eagles are going to, you know, they have a mobile quarterback, so you're going to have to go back to your Lamar rules where you're, the whole contain squeeze thing. But you're going to have to count for Hurts' running ability. Saquon's been in a bit of a funk, but he's still awfully talented, and you know, you never know what could happen with him. So I really expect him to be heavily focused on the run, and you know, hopefully the secondary, like you said, it continues to hold up. They've been playing well even with their reserves, and it's not a game, you know, I don't like seeing a ton of zone out of them, but this is a game where it could be beneficial to throw them a curveball when they might not be expecting zone.
All right. I think we'll leave things there. Erik, I just want to let you know I appreciate you, even when we're bickering at each other. I want our audience to know that we're friends. We still like each other.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't fight like that if we weren't friends, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will be back next week with another midweek mailbag for everyone. And I also want to serve this as a reminder that we're continuing to raise money for the University of Michigan Rogel Cancer Center. If you want to donate to be a part of our charity drive, where we hope to raise a ton of money, maybe beat last year's over 50K that we raised, go to prideofdetroit.com, look for the Pride of Detroit logo. It's usually in the 7 spot on the front page. Our logo with a little mustache. It tells you what sort of prizes you can win throughout the month, where your money is going towards, links to donate. And soon we'll have our auction up that has a whole bunch of awesome prizes as well. That should be up either by the end of the week or early next week. But until next time, that man right over there, dang it, I always point the wrong way, is Erik Schlitt. I'm Jeremy Rissman. Thank you all for listening. It's chaos. Be kind.
Recording stopped.
Jeremy gonna take a not punch at Erik next time they see each other? I mean, I punch him in the arm anyway. I mean, no, I violently shove his arm all the time anyways.
We've done a better job this year of keeping the violence to a minimum in the press box.
Yeah, but that part of that is, I feel like there were some meh games. There has, I feel, has there been like a thriller at home yet?
Chicago.
No, that's not a thriller. That's just a blowout. I mean, like a
it was
tight,
fun
like
for me.
a tense. No, but like, you know me, like when I get super tense, that's my release, is punching your arm. And so like, what is like a tense game that the Lions have won at home? Or is there one? I haven't.
Not really. They've
Bears, Browns, Bucks.
That was handled.
Vikings.
Vikings was, or the Bucks was kind of tight.
A little bit.
But not, I mean, I don't know. That game was kind of, I felt like in the bag by the third quarter though too.
We got an anonymous. Why did we get the alert? I don't feel like I didn't hear the alert. Oh, I had the alert off. I'm sorry. I think I turned the alert off during the actual live streams because it was loud. But thank you for the $50 donation. Anonymous says, please draw on bangs and long sideburns. Doesn't have to be now. Let me make note of that because I feel like you're not going to get your money's worth if I do that now and we leave in 10 minutes here.
Maybe just grow sideburns and then
just
comb your
grow
hair
sideburns.
Forward. Yeah,
I don't have like that as a superpower. It takes like a month.
What? A month?
I don't know. Bangs too. Bangs are kind of funny.
Just comb it forward. No, you can't do it now. You literally have to like get it wet and
Mutton chops.
oh God, mutton chops.
Mandy asks, any takes on Jared's comments on 97.1 taking a shot
Hilarious. Hilarious.
I normally
My
don't listen
God.
to him on the radio because, let's be honest, he doesn't usually say anything newsworthy. He's very good about that, about not making headlines out of himself.
It's tough to pull quotes from him. Yeah,
Yes.
it's tough to pull relevant quotes from him. That's for sure.
Plus, like, I don't know. Sometimes
I went
his
back and I
snark-
listened to that part though. That's
I
for
did
sure.
too. I listened to the whole thing today, and sometimes his snarkiness is just a little bit too much for me. But that was a perfect blend of like, I don't know, cleverness and snarkiness.
Oh yeah, he sounded mad, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I was very happy to hear that. It also
By
shows
the
like
way,
the camaraderie.
so it was Carson Anderson, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should know which one's which, and I don't. But it was only one of them today.
It was Doug Karsh.
It was Karsh, okay.
Yeah.
And because he was solo, he finished off the interview with listener questions, like four or five.
I turned it
listener
off
questions.
at that point.
And they weren't bad. Like they were fine questions. And he ends it saying like, those are some pretty good questions, huh? Jared. And he's like, yeah, I think maybe we should just do those from now on, or something like that. It's just like, I'm just like, oh damn, that was kind of rude. And it was playful, right? Like, and kudos to Karsh for like playing along. He's like, oh man, that kind of hurt my feelings. It's like, but I don't know. I just thought it was funny. $250 donation coming in from Anonymous, which pushes us closer to a spin on the wheel of pain. And I said I'd put on my Ned Flanders costume if we get to 6,000. Unfortunately, the total is, again, not updating at the top, which is very annoying. But I can give you guys an update. We are at 5,503. So we need $497, as Jill's ahead of the game.
Wow.
She already knows. $497 until we hit 6K. And yeah, if someone donates that much, we'll get another Tony Romo alert. Have you heard that yet?
I looked on the stream and saw that Tony Romo was on it, and I didn't know why.
Yeah, we were listening to a highlight. So I think this happened 2 weeks ago. Tony Romo just like made a very strange noise in the middle of his broadcast. Like,
yeah,
it just basically go, and a lot of people made a big deal out of it. We thought it was really funny, and so we made that alert for any $250 donation or more. Gets that alert.
Man.
Oh, there we go. It updated. I don't know how to play it for you unless you want to turn your stream up. I can replay the alert.
No, that's all right. I can rewind it. I'll go look for it later.
He's not going to look for it later.
I'm not a liar.
You're going to forget. Life is going to get in the way. A £2
it sounds
donation.
Certainly like something that I'd be interested in, though.
A £2 donation from Damian signing show issues at tight end. God dang it, my internet. Got any Ferkser takes? I didn't even write the story. That's how excited I was about the Ferkser signing.
Well,
did you even see it?
He made I saw it. He made the team because he was he could play H-back last time. So I figure they're looking for him to maybe give them some sort of scouting, right? Like maybe they're trying to get like a look at an upcoming opponent that uses like an H-back. That I don't know. I can't think one off the top of my head, but yeah. It also made me think that even though Shane Zylstra is eligible to come back, if they're signing a fifth tight end to the practice squad, or a fifth tight end that happens to be on the practice squad,
but
his injury is. But
all I remember seeing him.
Yeah, I don't know when he. We haven't heard about him.
Yeah, and I mean they brought in a different tight end, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't like we didn't think much of it, but he's been eligible to come back. Yeah.
The delay is so bad right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
But no, I was just they brought in the Northwestern kid, the Northwestern rookie, which tells me like I don't know. To me, it's like how old is Ferkser? Ferkser's 30, so it's weird. It's either let's have this developmental tight end or a veteran tight end that's been around since 2017. I wonder. It makes me wonder if there's some sort of injury.
I think it's to play a role. I think there's something specific.
Okay. I think.
So
Dwelly is hurt.
You think it might like Zach Horton? 13 snaps was too much for him.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just very weird to me that they looked at two tight ends when they, like you said, they already have four between the 53 and the practice squad. Yeah. Shout out to all the veterans. Thank you for what you guys do.
Are they anticipating?
This is very awkward. This is like when you have a correspondent that's halfway across the world, and then you're like, "How's the weather look out there, Erik?"
It's weird. Like you on stream, I'm not seeing any lag, but on our feed to one another, you're just froze basically, or
Cool.
blurry. Like you're either moving blurry or froze.
I want to throw this computer in the trash.
So,
That's how
but
I
the
feel.
stream looks fine.
I want a full refund from Micro Center. Are we live?
You were happy with what they did initially.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, my memory, my network, all this is like.
Do you need more?
Acceptable numbers.
Do you need more memory?
No, I'm only using 50% of it.
Need a new processor?
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
50%.
You have to go to Micro Center, chat.
I don't know either. Seems like a lot.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you, chat. I clearly have a short fuse tonight, chat. Your fake numbers. I'm sorry. I'm lashing out at everybody again. Should we just leave? Should I think
You
it's
gotta buy
happening with
like
the internet?
an Ethernet cord. That's like 200 feet long.
All right.
Well, now the stream's frozen and you're not.
What? The stream's frozen.
Oh, never mind. It's reversed.
Oh, I do see. We dropped some frames. Great.
Do you have
Dropping
the same
frames.
problem
Let's
with
go.
the other guys, or is it just me? It was for a second.
I think it's time to go.
Is it just me that you have this problem with, or do
I
you
don't
have it on
know.
the other one too?
I don't know. You see me just whip the screen around because I'm frustrated? I'll know in 3 seconds. It's time to go. I'm done. I'm done with this stream. I'm sorry, chat. I'm done. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for putting up with technical difficulties every single stream, apparently. If you want to donate, ! Donate. If you want to send us mail, ! Mail. It probably will sound a lot better on the podcast audio version. You're just sitting back and watching this. Can you even hear me? What's happening? I don't even know what's happening anymore.
I feel like I'm distracting you.
No, I need you to support me. All right, we're getting out of here. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you.
Good job.
No, stop. It's too late. We'll see you guys Thursday night. For First Bite. Put that in. I don't have a specific time for you yet, but that's what it's going to be. Chat, this is Jordan Love when it matters the most.